This is a WordSeed presentation. The views expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of WordSeed Inc.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. The day is finally here, and I want to welcome you into what we like to call the virtual segment of the Paterson Poetry Festival. The whole Paterson Poetry Festival has been amazing so far, and I know that we're getting ready to get into some dynamic speakers, dynamic poets, amazing writers. Tonight is going to just be the cherry on top of the cake. So with no further ado, I'd like to bring in the woman behind the magic, Talina Lachelle Queen.
Peace and blessings, family. How's everybody doing in the virtual world? I'm really excited for today.
I'm very excited for today. So happy to be in the virtual space.
Tori, thank you for coming all the way from Atlanta to do this virtual set with us. I'm really excited about all of the guests that we have here. We have two amazing collaborators for this virtual set. One is Amaranth Borsuk with the University of Washington, and the other is Gideon Ochieng from Nairobi, Kenya. So you are about to see something pretty incredible tonight. So thank you, Tori, for traveling. And it's very proper right now for us to thank Calvary Baptist Church, the historic Calvary Baptist Church, where we are located right now, doing this broadcast. I'm currently in the library. ToriLive is down in the Calvary Baptist Church podcast room, and you're about to see some amazing poets.
Yes, absolutely. So prepare to be blown away tonight with the dynamic artists that we're going to be bringing to the stage. These are some special selected artists who are going to offer so much perspective, so much diversity. That is one of the things that I love the most about the virtual set. You know, it gives everybody the opportunity to really get involved, not just those who are actually here, but people not only in America, but all over the world. I'm excited.
Yeah, we have artists tonight from Nairobi, Kenya, from Paris, France, who are located in Paris, France. We have folks tuning in from Cambridge and from Seattle, Washington, from North Carolina, from Paterson, from all over New Jersey, New York, right? So we have a pretty great selection of amazing poets. We've searched the whole world for these poets to bring them here for you tonight.
Indeed, indeed. I'm very excited. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get ready to bring up our very first artist. So, Queen, again, I want to thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for creating a platform where artists can come together, not just Paterson artists, not just Jersey artists, but as we're going to see tonight, artists from all over the world. Thank you, Queen.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. So right now I'm going to go ahead and read the bio of our very first artist. This is so cool. He's coming in all the way from Paris. He is the co-publisher of Poets Wear Prada. So John Jack Jackie Cooper is the creator of These Are Algorithms, the author of 10 and 10 More. The last, perhaps apparently having entered the collection of 10 university libraries in the United States, Canada, Spain, and Vietnam. His American English translation of Wax Women with French text of the original poems of Jean-Pierre, and photographs of Henry Jacob Drew dedication. Oh my God. I'm sorry. With no further ado, I would like to bring on John Jack Jackie Cooper.
Thank you, Tori. Thank you. And thank you to Lena and Wordseed for making this virtual voyage a reality. And I just want to say that I was actually born in Teaneck, New Jersey.
That's awesome. Oh, wow.
Long sleeve. I need to follow my unconscious. It provides the leads. And since it has been with me from the beginning, containing all whom I loved from the start, I should trust it. It is the underlying part, the figure of my soul. So never mind the ladies and gentlemen come lately, can only interfere. I feel and see and bleed from the heart. I am its jack, a knave, so be it. I have stood kings and queens long enough, and nobody holds the ace who does not keep it tucked up a sleeve. Fruit in age. I taste fruition within. Feel what leaves seems a tree. Like a fig, an apple, or pear, have I put off autumn in my life. Now comprehend why I loved orchards always. That plethora of twist, the precise cursive graying of the bark, intimate, almost sensual, are coming together, bitten, distilled, unburdening heat between treat and treasure, surrender to rich retreat, awarded as if shade, a kind of writing. This next is called The 4th of October to Souvient-il, which is a line that comes from a poem by Lamartine called The Lake. The 4th of October to Souvient-il. Amazing the ruin, the stupor of the misbegotten, fervor of memory may assuage, held long indoors, long drying and forgotten. A pinch of spruce confuses, a scent of miracles overwhelming brings to mind the sweetly fragrant, tiny, tart, and sticky, pungent orange fruit of the osage tree. I can see it, that tiny orange, feel it in my hand, clinging to my fingers, still perceive the faint glow it cast in my kitchen, where it lay, collecting dust amidst other, more natural fruit, a curiosity to those who came, now stuck with questions. What's that? Thrown high into the air, it becomes the sun, an orb burning with gone October. 1,000 rays transformed as leaves, a beach weeping. Envoi, brittle motion of the leaves, garden tired, following so many overheated days, begins to fade. We walk this way by chance, not knowing where it leads. Unknown the park, unknown the day, unknown the time, apart from summer ending, when, if evening comes, and all such seem then to recall, without succeeding to a loss which does not last, though never dealt in shame before, but accepted for its lapse. In fantasy, who let me in my arms, who let me in her arms, accepted my embrace, mothering love without shame. Longing to be yours, I never can. The ache to run, to feel alive. Oblivion once more beneath your, and safe as when a child I might have known little difference between heaven and home. The tiny patch of sunlight athwart the hill where I could roam still fills a kitchen sink. Every happiness I have ever known contained in its warmth, the place distinct, reserved for the sum of all that I am, and held in nakedness, a child by you, until they imagined we be one. Transitory. Blows struck like a knock repeated, an angel's horn, loud, louder approach. The heel ticked second of my doom. Achilles stung at the arrow stays. Shield such interval, haste portend. Still too minute might know begun. Far worse, nearer creature, she, unseen, the soul of youth exuberant, forth in flight with feathered hand, shoes or boots tipped through time to pierce the mind wound down the hall. What feels the door heard close behind. go out nor return. The healing. This has an epigraph from Vladimir Nabokov from his autobiographical essays called Speak Memory. It reads, "The cradle rocks above an abyss." And I use the word in Russian for child, which is pronounced tibionik. We are the love of life, that deep one, never felt, only feel. Gift by virgin birth, perfect union, ideal fusion of form and content. Then what happened turns to dust. Everything around inside it changes. We peer helpless, striving to restore origin, obscure to penetrate. Pendulous ever, brief lives. Tibionic through memory still speaks. Echoes an abyss, cradle defined, tangent, precarious, rocked by wavelength of light. Fortunate they, all who touch the bright shape. Gravity lends final weight to the unfathomable. Bonnie and Clyde. Sunset brimmed the horizon, just enough to underscore the passing day. A continuous inscription of red, written in blood and dipped from the heart's core. We watched it breathless and loved the blue, the reef of clouds and sympathetic joy of being there together. Witness to the majesty, the aching knowing we were still alive. Invincible in our happiness, unrepentant, grateful too for our sins, which had led us to this impasse, this gateway of forgiveness for our sins. Drowning by numbers. Au bord de la Dèche, hawk flying overhead, hanging clouds, but still ample reflection below. If only I did not regret. The flow high above, underwater, inveigles as you did, and would as well. Tristesse, my medium impermanence, offers no escape. You go everywhere with me. I want to take you to dinner, even to sit at separate tables, to know you are there where you are, sufficient nourishment for one, company to suit my most lavish taste. Does this amuse you? I wonder, which is all I have left. Destitute itself will not do. I have to live and dine, dying alone. Oh, I hear you say. The roads trail away. None comes near. Night's least return. Earthed church tower glows. The last light mourns behind long clouds. Valley fade unto a veil. Leaves stand down in silhouette, acquit themselves in a labyrinth. Nothing is, but it seems I am, remain alive. This merely I know, the worst hour yet. I count no star in the sky tonight. And finally, to close, the Ballad of Jackie. He tried, he really did try to run free, light like a waterfall or butterfly, always to be a source of rhyme without thought or care for what would come next. Only might, never could. No limit to set, instinct regret, just the echo of one long desire unmet. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for that. Your words are powerful. Your delivery is passionate. I really enjoyed listening to you speak. So,
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of this. I appreciate you for opening up the virtual component of the Paterson Poetry Festival.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the next artist. However, what I'd like to say, my own personal PSA, is I would like to apologize for messing up a little bit on Jack's bio. Everybody has a voice. This is one thing that I stand by. Everyone has a voice, everyone has a story, and everyone's story is so valuable that it should be properly told. My mistake. I apologize. But however, you can go and you can read not only Jack's bio, but every single bio of every artist that we will be bringing up tonight. Make sure you go check out wordseedinc.org. And not only that, but all of their social medias are linked. So please, if you see somebody, if you hear somebody and their piece resonates with your soul, they said something that touched you, or you just want to hear more of their poetry, I encourage you, run right over to wordseedinc.org. Follow them, follow them, follow them. Thank you. So with no further ado, I'd like to bring up this artist. This artist is amazing. He is an author. He is a multi-slam winner. He has been listed among the top 10 African poets of 2018 and held as a cultural hero. That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm excited to bring up Mufasa POET. Hey, how are you?
Hey,
Welcome,
good, I'm
welcome,
good.
welcome to the
How are
virtual
you?
space. I'm good. I'm wonderful, actually. We can't wait to hear from you. I'm going to go
Thank you.
ahead and get out the way and let you take the stage and do what you do best.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
I escaped kidnapping. Was the first time it hit me. I was 8 years old. By the time I had lost my stutter and my breathlessness, I could not convince them. They almost lost me. Same day, I lost myself. I started having nightmares. Up in the day, because as long as my eyes were shut, it was nighttime, I swear. Taken away by people who claimed my mother had not finished paying for the sits. Situation that no one in the house could stand. But even then, what I really couldn't stand was the lights off at night. Take anything but not the light. I was scared of the dark. I was scared of hand and darkness. When our Sunday school teacher said, Jesus is light, I wanted all of him. The rosary, the Easter Christ on TV, I wanted all of him. I had started to eat, but I was feeding on memory verses, yet I still lost weight. Because no matter John fed me, they were not alive to help me watch my weight. I went from the chubby kid to just a kid. When I joined boarding school, I couldn't leave, so I peed on myself. It got so bad, I couldn't even read a classroom. Like the time feeling, I had to choose whether to be known as a brave thief or the boy who waited for everyone to be in home and hang my mattress. Couldn't let anyone see me because I thought if they did, I would just stop with the mattress and hang my. I wasn't trying to be right. I wasn't trying to be dope. I wasn't even define a poem. And even if I could, I didn't care enough to rhyme. I was writing to make this doubt so I could stay alive. When I say poetry saved my life, I mean it. I joined slam, started slamming myself. I wanted to know how it feels like not to beat myself. If the kidnapper wanted me to be a part of another, or if they wanted me for my body parts, that I was too young to fight a bad memory. My parents were too busy to believe a kid who watched judges called passion was me trying to escape a chain on my neck to be that dog. Now I knew I was meant to be alive. Let me go to my second poem. I have for the likes. And I have redated myself. I called an ambulance, and poetry is the surgery that keeps safe. I stay writing, so I don't need a comeback form. This is my drug. Drugs drag people to places they couldn't come back from. I have left art formed. Proof that I cannot always be grounded. The reason my mother is a grandmother. I'm the man who breaks chances by their spine until they. I know more about vapor than just the science taught me in school. I have turning point and watched them evaporate to a sky that has witnessed what I've seen. With hands that couldn't stop shaking. I've had the noises of solid voices seeking an uprising. That's is not light, it is weighty. I can't freestyle, my tongue is heavy. Note how they make jokes. Seriously, this voice is open to those unbroken walls. I still have the chains from the time I said poet. Memory is stored like a WAV file. And I wrote this in the kitchen. Because I cook metaphors. I serve puns in tense, and that's intended. I'm the shortcoming of breath. Before there's a last airbender, I mastered the Tai Chi. This is holy speaking and scripture in a body poet with my drafts in a heartbeat. My heart, my future, squarely like an old Bible. I'm not Moses with the staff. I'm a God poet with a pen. Relationships sound beautiful. I'm the magician with the pen. Oozing words that dance like magic, my name. But if only my thoughts could shape my reality, I would free the consciousness of this country from political prison. Because they're sleeping on our youth. If only I could stop right hand to color the clouds of citizen dissatisfaction to darkness. Maybe it would rain, maybe light can only come after darkness. Maybe only mind revolutions can birth surface. Birth means nothing if police brutality is immortal. Sometimes when I write and I aim right, pages smelling like smoke magazines, they say that's how you kill a poem, except my boys are dying misery. No dramatic effect. That's the drama that affects our nation. Choose to ignore the repercussions of bad politics. It will never be in our hands. What we'll continue to have is a phone with features. I'm so happy to be here. So happy to be here. At this point, I will chat. And last piece of the night. This one. This one's when you're 14. Love is you don't talk to. Just a gut. And on a lucky day, there's back. When you're 16, love is a girl in church. Always with her mother. Dresses, she's always in jeans. Every time you pass mother, you bounce a bit. You know, her mother is busy talking to other people. You always almost to say hi, but you never do. 10. Love is jealousy. The girl ends with your friend. Your friend is the boy who walked over and when her mother was busy talking to other people. Love is petty. Like owning a date because of a pimple on your face. When you're 24, love is a porn. Like, I think about you 8 days in a week. Like, my heart is on the left, but you make all right. Like, the way I'm falling, it's a scary fall. I need knee pads and a helmet for the way from you. Like, I find you littering in my mind. I collect my thoughts. Like, February, when I could leave you breathless. on 13th and 10th. Like, your eyes are the how to cook my heart. Like, right now, I can't buy you airtime, but I'm so into you. Demo at Freedom Corner, just for your free airtime. When you're 25, love is a delicate thing. You don't want people to know you're a glass, just in case they like breaking things. When you're 26, Cupid keeps pointing you to be taken. People you call by name, while another person calls them. When you're 27, love is to say I miss you without saying I miss you. Like, I read something about you today. When you're 28, with no name, that way you don't have to call it. It will come. When you stop counting, love is who you are. Love is what you did. Love is what you feel. I feel I can change the world right now. Thank you very, very. I'm leaving the hands of the host now.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're an excellent storyteller. That's one of the things that I enjoy about your work. You know how to roll out a story and bring us in. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for your time and your participation in the 5th Annual Paterson Poetry Festival's virtual event. Thank you so much. It's so exciting that we're virtual this year. Last year was our very, very first time doing this. This is year 2 for us in this virtual space. And I want to thank you for those of you who are tuning in to join us. If you are not already up on WordSeed Inc., then you need to definitely get over there, check out the website, and stay up to date on everything WordSeed will be doing throughout the year as we move into Paterson Poetry Festival year 6. So exciting. So the next artist that I'm going to get ready to bring up, the last artist that we had was actually, my Lord, I'm sorry. The last artist we had an African artist. This is yet another beautiful African artist. Her name is Ngwatilo Mawiyoo. So her bio, right? She is an author. She is a filmmaker. She is a poet. She is a performer. Her work has been featured in publications such as Transition, just to name a few. I'm going to go ahead and bring her on, and you can actually just give us a little bit more of a synopsis about yourself if you'd like.
I will be telling stories also. Thank you, Tori. So we'll get to know each other a little bit.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. I think that's the first place to start. It's about midnight. Well, it's almost 1 a.m. So I'm going to start with this invocation to help me get my energy up as well. The dark came jamming blackly, irresistible. We joined our rhythms with genteel juju to wreck the mood, fill it with noise, commingle, conjoin, contemplate ourselves as careless gesticulation. Vessel of sound, I am love, thick, loquat jam. Vessel of sound, I am joy, a long moment of laughter, immaculate sculpture. Move, move, woman. Be free of skin in your dira, buoyant, aerated, soft, unknowable. Move that still air. Okay, so I think I'm there. It's hard to be in your house alone and up. Let me get my timer up also. So this next poem is called Edith and Umau. Edith is Lot's wife, is a name for Lot's wife in some Jewish traditions. Umau is Kikamba, which is my mother tongue, for grandfather. And just a little context, as part of our colonial legacy, we have a heritage of kind of leaving home. So, leaving to go to boarding school, to the city, to work, and in my case, additionally, America to study. Edith and Umau. I've returned from America because Umau is mortal in the way nation states aren't, and he is old. This work is about how we live. Living is the reason for this work. This is work. Umau is beautiful and strong, delights a granddaughter with mulberry, zambarao, colored coffee beans drying in the veranda. He looks out over the farm, short-sighted. Once upon a time, he saw long, long ago, knew the words that blackened in our silence. Now he watches what he planted, neck stiff like Lot's on that hill outside Sodom, willing the past cured. I've returned from the city, from boarding school, America. I've come for Edith, the salty one, Omusherecha, who cures. The wound that won't heal. If I could learn which story's destruction she turned to witness. Back in 2012, 2013, and since then, actually, I traveled around Kenya to understand Kenyans is maybe the most crass way to put it. This was shortly after Kenya had the 2007-2008 post-election crisis, in which our country kind of almost fractured in various bits. I'm sure you all in America have no idea what that's like. So, the other thing is, so I hope it brings to life and gives you a sense of us and this place that we call home. What is left to cling to? I have walked under white dombea trees in bloom at the edge of the Rift Valley. A million pale pink flowers abuzz, each with its own bee, more magnificent than the North's young cherry trees in spring. I have stopped a man on his boda boda just after he rode past a herd of zebra there on that escarpment. He greeted me, invited me to his home, told me the tree's local name, POET. I have driven past canola fields in Timau, yellow as your grocer's lemons, past bus stops where workers wait for a ride home, a chance to tend to their gardens before dark. I have turned north to Isiolo, where men and women do not fear space, how it contracts at the town's market and expands in that endless savanna Amkamba might be mistaken to call Weu. I have seen young men philosophize there, camels clustered under acacia in the heat of the day. I have seen the power of a tarmac road, its ability to hasten time. I have witnessed the moment before its arrival, held a toddler at a now defunct Marilla rest stop, both of us headed for the border, my body braced for the interminable tremor of uneven Murram, him calm and beautiful, while his mother exhales. I have lain on the edge of a river streaming out from earth herself, kissed the water and drank my fill on a promise of purity, then repeated the folly elsewhere and retched in a host's living room. This is not an advice column. I have been led through the sacred forest atop Mfangano Island, dead wood allowed to become home to moss and fungus, allowed to be beautiful in death. I have sat in silence with that forest's custodian, watched him worry who will care for it when he is gone. Cave paintings already colliding with graffiti, ungovernable youth sampling and riffing on a history reduced to tourism. I have come upon Lake Turkana on a road of volcanic rock sunned enough to slice 4 tires. The water voluminous and ageless, goats grazing on invisible pasture, and makueni after the rain. I have seen 1,000,000 metal roofs glimmer on 1,000 hills, run down terraces where dreams are planted and sanctified in the sun. I have camped on a homestead situated on an inheritance of banana suckers and tea bushes in Nyamira, for nights seen valleys momentarily fluorescent before thunder strikes. I have shared a countryside with a parade of elephants, moms and their babies, blue-headed guinea fowl scurrying at their heels, each one carefree and beloved. I have relished friendship in the gift of bambara nuts, laden with ritual from Kakamega, shared in Shingadam's tastiest catfish, watched cashews ignite in their shells till that anarchatic acid is burnt black and breakable. There, with the ocean at Tiwi and everywhere, a metronome. Food as nourishment, gift, sacrifice. I have watched siblings chase each other round and round a parking lot in the heat of a pandemic as spittle bugs rain down and minuscule tipuana blooms rain down blessings. I have sailed on a dhow through mangrove forests off Lamu, holding my lover's hand, dreamed a dozen futures on the holy gold where the ocean meets the land in Diani. These are the days that must happen to you. If you can stand to see humans in this landscape make ephemera of their earthly inheritance and learn wonder, wage war, foster joy, sculpt a self. I might have an auntie who's in the room. Hey, Auntie Joyce. She's in DC, and she's in this poem. And I share it for my living and my dead, and ours also. Early in the pandemic, Daddy calls. I'm on the phone with an American auntie, elderly, immunocompromised, and alone in her home. I don't answer, as she and I haven't spoken in months, and he is dead and buried in Nairobi near a yellow Nandi flame tree. He rings again and again. I start to worry. I text and I'll call you back. He calls again. I tell Auntie I have to go. I'm trying to book the last flight out before the border closes. In my phone book, his icon is still us at that old Italian place where I get the boscaiola. Still candlelight and wine bottles on white walls. It's his birthday. He's hugging me. And it's still strange to be hugged by him, but it's happening and we're happy. Mom is in the present. She's redeployed his phone to house guests, kept it alive so the telco company won't disconnect us who like to know, who like knowing his ringtone song is still there. This too is embalmment. Thank you, Talina. Thank you, Wordseed Poem, Wordseed Inc. Thank you, Paterson Poetry Festival. Thank you, all the people. And I'm just so happy to be here and listening to these incredible poems that everyone is sharing. So this is my last poem, is what I'm saying. And I share it for you who are entering the fall or are in the fall, or I don't know what season it is. What I mean is, I know it's the fall, but like the seasons are confused over here. So I hope you guys are more stable. Autumn with spiders. I told myself the truth in a way I could bear. That I was a hairless animal they liked to watch, but wouldn't pet. No matter that I didn't want to be kept, that I thought either they were ugly or I was. My owners worked, ate their meals, and listened to the weather there around my kennel. I couldn't tell if they slept. I began to watch them and noticed a thread slop out from the lower tip of an abdomen. 2 feet bring warp and weft close so the tip could stick them together with a jab. It was their work, how they caught food, where they played. I grew accustomed to being theirs, believing I belonged. When the air cooled and I realized they were dying, I worried for them. Thank you all. Have a lovely rest of the evening.
Okay. You were amazing. What I love the most about you is your energy. I love your energy. I truly enjoyed the piece right before that last one. The pandemic was something serious, something that we will never be able to forget, not just here, but I know out there as well. And that piece really brought home a lot of the feelings that so many of us were feeling at that time. And that's hard subject matter, but you know, your presence, you, like I said, I love your energy and I love what you bring to the stage. I'm gonna ask you not to leave the stage just yet. We're gonna bring on Mufasa POET, and we're just gonna chat a little bit. I have one question for the both of you. Just give me a second to pull him up. Give me a second. For all of you who are watching, once again, I'm going to encourage you to run over to wordseedinc.org and check out not only the artist bios, but check out their socials. I want you to go ahead and get in touch with them, stay in touch with them, and follow. Okay, so unfortunately, we're not able to bring up Mufasa right now. We might be able to bring him back. Okay, there you are. Hey, welcome back. Really quick,
Thank you.
I have one major question for the two of you. I enjoyed both of your presentations, and what I pulled from yours, Mufasa, I pulled passion. There's a lot of passion in your words and what you're saying. There's a lot of deep passion energy behind that. And like I was saying with Ngwatilo, you have just a lot of positive energy in general. The delivery of a piece is really everything. You know, the delivery of a piece is going to determine how we receive it. So I want to know what builds your delivery process. Like what builds your delivery process when it comes to presenting your pieces? I'm going to start with you, Mufasa. Or rather, what inspires your delivery? What inspires the way that you deliver your poems? I think that might be a better way of saying that. Mufasa, would you mind? He may have froze. He may have froze. He's gonna come back in. So we're just gonna go ahead to you. What inspires the delivery of your piece?
So for me, it's two things. It's the piece itself. Like I have this idea that the piece tells you how it wants to be shared. It has opinions,
Right.
but also I guess I have a desire to connect with the person who's receiving it and make it fresh and present for them in this moment. So so I may emphasize certain things that I feel like are I want to share with this particular audience, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm just I'm a servant of the poem and the people.
I like the way you put that. You say you're a servant of the poem and the people. I absolutely love that from you. And I love when you're able to really see the personality of an artist. And you can't help but see the personality of an artist when they're reading or when they're giving their pieces, because that's a part of our soul. Literally, everything we write is a part of us. So I can't help but show me. You can't help but show you when we're delivering. So, Mufasa, you've come back. Mufasa does not come back. We're having a bit of a connection. We're having, and it's okay to laugh. Like, we're not going to make this real heavy in here,
No, it's real,
Your
man.
energy
Like I
won't
was just
allow me to be heavy. Your energy won't even allow me to be heavy, even if I try. But we're having a few connection issues with Mufasa, and I do want to hear from him. However, if we can't get him back, I completely understand. I'm just glad that we were able to enjoy his work before the connection started getting a little crazy.
Yeah, I can do that. There he is.
Is he? Aha, you're back. Welcome. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Can you hear us? You can hear us?
Oh no.
Well, he's smiling and we can kind of hear him, but that connection is going in and out. Uh-oh.
Bam.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna play a brief clip really quick. You can actually stay right where you are. We're gonna play a brief quick clip just to see if maybe he can go out and come back into the feed. Okay? Just hang tight.
This is a WordSeed presentation. The views expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of WordSeed Inc.
Okay, and we're back. That was a really beautiful intro. I love that. So, all right. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, we're not able to get Mufasa back in. However, Jack is here. Jack opened us up. How you doing, Jack?
I'm good. Thank you. How are
That's
you?
wonderful. I'm awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excellent. I'm happy to be here. So I'm gonna ask you the same question that I just asked Ngwatilo. So with your delivery from your piece, I enjoyed it because it gave me like true theater. It gave me true theater. You're sitting there and you're reading your piece, but it's like it really pulled me in. So I'm gonna ask you what I asked her. What inspires your delivery? What inspires your delivery for your poems?
Let's see. Well, well, I mean, the words themselves, to give them the most effective articulation. I mean, I basically write lyric work. I mean, and so I try to come as close to song as possible. And the other thing is that I see a poem as a kind of verbal contraption that you try to make fly and give dimension in the air. And so that's really, so that's what my objective is to give it the fullest possible shape.
Wow. I really like your answer. Your answer and Ngwatilo's answer, like there's such a blend there, because what you both are saying is that really what inspires the delivery really is the piece. It really is the words. Words are powerful, and that's something that we believe here at WordSeed. Words are seeds that we deposit into people through our artwork, whether it be music, whether it be poetry, whether it be short stories. And I always enjoy a great delivery, and I definitely enjoyed you guys. I'm pretty sure our audience did as well. I cannot stress this enough, audience. If you have not already gone to follow them, you need to go and follow them to keep up with them and catch them the best of their self.
Yeah. I mean, some of the most exciting aesthetic moments of my life have been listening to poetry and it just to see the when they're spoken, and I also should say I particularly admire my co-reader here, my co-speaker, co-poet, for knowing, for saying it out loud. I mean, I have upon occasion been able to do that myself, and certainly the most effective recitations of my poem or of any other poem that I've heard have been those that are done from memory. Because, I mean, for one thing, as a poet myself, it's the most existential, because then every moment, every word lives in the moment and takes its place in somewhere between space and music.
In the
And
body.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I particularly admire that ability. Um, I've gotten to the point where I just can't memorize.
That's okay. That I'm one of those poets.
We're many.
Once
I'm
you
not always.
forget, you don't want to forget again.
No,
Ngwatilo, you look like you had something to add to what was being said. Did you have something you wanted to add?
oh, I was just adding like it's in the body
Hmm.
I think of like poem, you know, sometimes like on the page, and it has to perform on the page. It
Right.
has to deliver on the page, but then when you're in front of people, for
Hmm.
me, it has to be alive in the body.
Yeah,
That's yeah, that's all I
the
had.
Yeah.
music is there. It's
Yes, the music is there. You get on
The
stage,
breath,
the orchestra begins.
yeah,
It takes its life. It takes its first breath the moment
yeah,
you walk onto the stage and you're before people. It's like they are your children. You're writing
mhm,
your poetry. They are your children, and you give those children their first breath every time we take a mic.
yes.
I appreciate you
yeah.
too. I appreciate you too so much. Thank you so much for being among the first poets to
Thank you.
open us out today. And
Thank you
there's
for having us.
no problem,
Yes,
no
thank you
problem,
so much. Thank you, Tori. Thank you.
no problem, no problem. Bye.
Bye.
Guys, they were phenomenal. They were phenomenal, and they're getting me just so excited because I know there's so much more for us to catch as we go further into our program. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our next poet. So this poet, she is not only a poet, but she is a scholar. She is a book artist, and she is working at the intersection of print and digital media. That's a powerful lady right there. I would like to bring to you Amaranth Borsuk. Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's a huge honor to be here.
It's a huge honor to have you. I already love your voice. It's real ASMR-ish. I love it. I just know I'm going to enjoy your work. I'm going to give you a few minutes to just tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Sure, yeah. My name is Amaranth Borsuk. I am the director of the MFA in Creative Writing and Poetics at the University of Washington, Bothell. And I'm really pleased to get to be part of a panel at this particular event because Talina Lachelle Queen was one of the very first graduates of our MFA program and is just such an incredible community builder and really a creator of spaces for the sharing of language. So it's an honor to get to participate in the community that she's helped to build because she was such an incredible member of our own community. And with me this evening, the next few years are all folks that are associated with our MFA program, 2 other faculty members, as well as 3 of our fantastic alumni. So I'm so excited to hear what they're going to share, and I'm really honored to get to share with you some of my work.
That is fantastic. I love how everything always seems to work itself out full circle. This is so cool. So I'm going to go
Yeah,
ahead
it's
and get out of
amazing.
your way and let you do what you do best.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to share some poems with you from a collaborative manuscript that I did with my friend Terry Whittick that is called Wash. And it's a book of speculative poems imagining women in 2 future worlds, one of them beset by fire and the other one beset by torrential rains. And they're each trying to reach the other through multiple media in order to learn from one another how they might change the course of the worlds that they're living in. These poems do exist on the page in a very material way. So I thought that I would share with you an image of those works. Sorry, I'm gonna bring up a PDF so that you can see what the layout looks like of these poems. Oh, I guess I can't show you the layout, but I guess basically what to tell you is that they're prose poems and that they include visual poems alongside them. And it's from part of the manuscript called Transmissions. In one origin myth, we ask our sons if they're joined at the top like a double-piped olos, if they each sport 5 holes, if they're 5000 BCE. Someone tracked them to a red and black clay vessel, and the party's long started. You're late, says one boy. I'm late, says the other. They are wry and piercing. Look, we say, we've come round the sides of 2 worlds to unfasten you, send you down other runnels. Look, a son says, I'm slanted at the bottom of a wine jar whose tide's going out. Look, says the other, I'll break open that cloud. Like down the shattered must see down, about the gilded overhead shred up fell sea. Go. In the other origin story, the first pipe said, all our birds speak rain, that if we were to step out any dawn below a red-eyed satellite, below scuttering gray cloud poles, an owl would say 5 kinds of rain, and then another owl. 6 a.m. again, the trees not speaking yet. Drawn into it, follow the city's pipeline, listening. Clattery warblers, doves like echo of owl, the street keeps vanishing into darker squares. More birds below, maybe the dew point breaking without us, a trickle of sweat. We don't speak rain, but believe everything, head and stomach, breasts and womb. There, spine releases the remaining, hanging after duress, vessel crushed, where what? Crawl, wrong, salt, care-stiffened legs. Plexus, right, story throat, despite, silvered, night, wetter question, even blow. Dividing, the first pipe says, forget the myth. I was there all along to carry you off, and it happened. Later that afternoon, an hour arrived, 4 p.m., when no birds spoke. We tore towels and read the same thing twice, blue glass. Air cried out sideways under trash-talking trees, or maybe this meant soon all birds would speak together, plus the small dead white S of a snake, tiny teeth upturned, gone now like dawn's porch light. While umbrella mourned, and in a way, it bemused astonishment. Earth, tomorrow I, compound continues clear, he encounter. This Juliet normal, aristocratic like underwater. One dare as, and particular down, wait, meaning rain appeared, was more, and intellectual, sometimes ordinary, and bed limped past. Umbrella, end times, wind swollen, parallel. The second pipe says, look, lover, there's no rain in Chuva by Oswaldo Geldi. The printmaker's usual small town is empty, but for a loner like you, a series of deep horizontal slashes. Rain? No lower. They indicate world. No need for rain, says Geldi, dead only 4 years later, here sad and assured. A bus stop like a milky gray screen, but no bus to get you home. You who aren't yet past tense and not even a torso, have an overcoat, trousers, shoes. Plus the eye grabber hotspot in twilight on a woodblock, a slick looking umbrella. Bright red round of Sangue Nuclear circa 1957, when the print was made, turned viral bloom 2000? That's what the umbrella holds against you, that thing that will kill you. Let's call it rain. Not voices interpreting riders overcome, being again on sheets. Snow is no misty familiar rain. Views small, nothing corrupted. The bin listened, where il pleut, slower, shh, and only je pluie. People to dream, roaring and have it, not passers-by throughout struggling resonance, reversed saliva from within, angels, metal, return. Now a third pipe appears, says, well, you too are just anyone's head and monothematic delusion. I'm the trifecta, last rail, holy ghost of a chance, anyone's repetend connect. By day, I'm also a gloved city worker gathering and rounding swell in streets where a sickened caregiver falls backwards. We watch from our separate worlds. Soon the landscape will be one lumpy whiteout of wrapped up dead. A finger's white wolf thumbs the darkness. How many? Everything along that beyond everything. A fourth pipe connects. Did we mean to stop breathing? Oh, you couldn't help but summon us here, toxic dawdlers, because 4 or more of us, lashed, bring out the gods. Think of us as hollowed reeds on sea dune or one street over's uncut grass. Citizen demons, recall how, because time too is bound by encirclers, each reed was also syrinx, a girl Pan couldn't have. And how, as always, he broke her. Then, and this too is usual, the refabrication, her bits rewoven. At least 2 by 2 to touch her every limb with his lips. It's you who bring these to your mouths now, but you aren't so important. Practice transmission. Continue remaining, the breaking said. After duress crushed back what? Where? Make homeland the ultimately wrong address. Care, the right river story, despite friend very night. Paintbrushes question from even Pakistan. And with this, a fifth pipe says, hey, I'm your baby, pinky on that damp fist raised to your mouth, lowest on the horizon of hand, the littlest bit. We didn't ask for this, opening our digits to mend sandbags, dig trenches, to caretake the landscape we couldn't protect you from, a terrain perpetually receding. We equal syrinx, everyone's broken reed mama, sirens 1 street over, plus a songbird's sweet lower larynx, 6 a.m. again, one bird, one word. We drip and rip apart, must find new channels. 16 laid wind-swollen umbrella, laid by strand past limped bed, strand and manner and sometimes and was, strand splicing, inserting, appeared, meaning after bin and core, down as one underwater, down inequalities, the malice normal, this clear compound, all strands laid, earth bemused it away while mourned. Thank you very much.
Amaranth, thank you very much for that. Thank you. Your voice is so soothing. That's one of the things that I enjoy the most about you as a poet. Thank you so much for giving us your time, giving us your gift. We appreciate you here at the Paterson Poetry Festival. Okay, so I know that I've been pushing people to go over and check out wordseedinc.org. However, did you know we have a Instagram page? We want you to run over to Wordseed Inc. on Instagram. Make sure you follow us. Also, if you're watching this broadcast now, that means you've already found our YouTube channel. So go ahead, hit subscribe. Thank you so much. So I'm going to get right into the next artist that we have. Her name is Jeanne Heuving. And she is not only a poet, she is a writer and a scholar. She is a 2022 Edith E. Wilson Fellow in Poetry at Cambridge University. She has recently published Mood Indigo and is the editor of Nathaniel Mackey, Destination Out, essays of his work. I would like to bring to you Jeanne Heuving.
Great. Thank
Hi.
you.
So nice to have you with us tonight. I'm going to give you a few minutes to just briefly talk a little bit more about yourself. Introduce us a little further to who exactly you are.
Okay, well, thank you. I would also like to say how terrific it is to be here and to be here at the Paterson Poetry Festival. I was here in person a few years ago. And I'm happy to be here virtually. Delighted that Talina has created this wonderful festival and that she graced our MFA. So I mainly have been talking about the Paterson Poetry Festival. I'm currently writing something which I like to think of as prose and poetry. People say prose poetry, prose or poetry. I like about it as prose and poetry because it has a bit more prosaic elements, meaning there's more kind of straightforward telling in it. And I just published the second volume of prose and poetry called Brilliant Corners. Here it is.
So
So
beautiful.
I'm going to read from it.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to go ahead and get out of your way and let you do what you do best. Again, we want to thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to just read 2 of the 21 sections, and there's sort of abrupt turns in this, so if you think you're following and suddenly it switches, that's the poetic aspect of this. So the their Burning Corners is of course a Thelonious Monk composition. There are sections on Thelonious Monk and John Coltrane and the G's Band Quilters from Alabama. But I'm going to read the first 2 sections that really have more to do with the sea. And to some extent, the sea is the protagonist that begins the sequence because of the multiplicity and the flow of the sea. So, section 2. To begin with ocean, I tried to reach the island barren and rocky. I'm going to turn on light. It's too dark here. I'm sorry to interrupt. Okay, my apologies. Now my face is very bright. Okay, but I can read my words, which is important. To begin with ocean, I try to reach the island barren and rocky on one side and covered with fir trees on the other. But even at low tide, it is stranded by ocean. The entrance into the mouth of the river is impossible since the ocean goeth so high. It is most thrilling rowing just beyond the surf and launching a bark upon the shore, or the ocean swell sublime of hope. I seek the cottage dell. Dante's rhyme has no Homeric ocean roll. Does he not resist the ocean swell within him? Ensconced in his poetic dwelling, wind sweeping up the rocky steep, the eagle is soft on his perch. Near the leap point, the tides with their salty residue blanket a host of stumps. Because fresh water is less dense than salt water, more water flows out into the ocean than backward into the watershed. Further inland, an ocean of rolling sand dunes with tufts of grass and shadowed troughs gives way to a flattened terrain of terse vegetation, thorny tendrils crossing uncertain paths. At the far reaches is a grove of stunted pine trees through which the barely discernible roar of the ocean catches on brambles. There are now too many ocean-going vessels to count, each wedding cake cruise liner with its multiple arcades, restaurants, and swimming pools, turquoise lozenges amid the blue ocean, alight with sun. The Flatiron Building is like the bow of a monster ocean steamer. An ocean lane is a flatted path across the ocean, designated primarily for steamers. The Great Continental Sag sinks below the ocean level. The sun hovers o'er the ocean brim. The ocean waves darken. I heard the shadows scrying and gave them your name. 3. To begin with shore, each of the 21 sections starts to begin with. Okay, so this is to begin with shore. I step onto an expanse of glistening sand, seagulls crying, reeling, opening into the sky horizon. Next, a rocky shelf with seaweed awash at the shore and seagrass rooted in sandy pockets. I am shorn of my usual habits as I shear a path close to the incoming waters. Fossil evidence suggests that land plants came about through a symbiosis of sea fungi and photosynthesizing algae, leaving their marine environment to grow upon land. How and why some sea plants return to the ocean is hard to say. They open their flowers underwater, blousy and gauzy, amidst saltwater conditions. Their pollen is waterborne, and their seeds are carried away into fertile shallows and fallows deep. Sea lions and otters made a similar return to the habitat from which their predecessors originated, swimming for long periods underwater and resting on rocky abutments. These reverse directions are mysterious, although likely caused by retreat from overly crowded lands for the greater freedom of the ocean. A shore is a piece of timber or iron set obliquely against a building in danger of collapsing, or a ship in dock undergoing alteration or repair. The shore zone is the zone affected by wave action. When the water does not ebb or flow, there is no shore. A richness of colors, of greens turned inkish in the incoming waters, and of brown kelp a swirl in an ocean of blue-brown, has no end in sight. The color line is a scrim of fact. It is not of this world, has no soul, and cannot inhere in a human being. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your reading. Thank you for giving us that gift. I would like to take this next moment to bring up our next artist that we have coming to the virtual stage. So the next artist that we have is Ching-In Chen. Chen is a queer gender Chinese American writer, community organizer, and teacher. That is a very full plate. I would like to welcome to the stage Ching-In Chen. Hi.
Hi. Oh, sorry. This is Penny looking out the window during my reading.
Thank you for joining us today in the virtual space. If you wouldn't mind giving us just a little bit more about you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. My name is Ching-In Chen. I use they, them pronouns. I am a faculty member at UW Bothell in the MFA in Creative Writing program. And as you noted, I am involved in community organizing, and I also am a cross-genre writer.
Okay. Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you for your contributions, honestly, because being a teacher, not easy. Being a community organizer, not easy. But when it's your passion project, you find a way to make it happen. And I appreciate you for everything that you add. So I'm going to go ahead and move out of the way and allow you to take the virtual stage.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here with me today. Thank you to Lena, Michelle Queen, and all the folks organizing the Paterson Poetry Festival. As someone who's organized events before, I know that they take a lot of time to put on. So just really grateful, and also grateful to my colleagues and alumni for being here. I've been thinking a lot about the times we're living in, and I've been writing and working on rituals and spells. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. This first poem that I'm going to read is a poem that I wrote. I was asked to write a poem for trans and gender nonconforming students who are walking the stage at Lavender graduation at the institution that I used to work at in Texas. And so this is what I wrote for them. Sorry. Benny. Spell for safety. For the trans and gender nonconforming students walking the stage at Lavender graduation. Maybe it was you learning to walk home, crosswise, your own safety valve. You who trained a tongue, chosen name, listening for reflection to speak back. You, I'm calling you, grew yourself at argument's end, slept borrowed and burned, who filled in space of the wisecrack, who emptied the sidewalk, who cleared the toxic table. You breathed down your own street, rose tall, stitched, built your own table, lit candles for the living who couldn't make it back. The invitations, the city, the hauntings, and the hatchets. The you walking home safe, opening the door, setting the table for company. I'm going to read you a spell that I wrote for a former mentee of mine who I mentored through Kundiman, Asian American writing organization that's really important to me and also mentored me. So this poet's name is Huiying B. Chan. And I'm really grateful to have gotten the chance to work with him because I had never had any poet who identified as a trans or non-binary poet work with me when I was a younger writer, and what I was really moved by was Huiying was very clear what he wanted, and then he asked for what he needed, and I felt inspired by that. So and Huiying also goes by Dandelion, and this piece is called Dandelion Spell for Safety. For Huiying B. Chan. 1. A buzz in pool. Don't know what flame to be spilt, circling from your seedlings. You told only sliver once what to live with stern command. Center we all, tornado father, a house set against lingering. Fall into support. 2. May you and your sunlights grow sturdy in seed and light-winged. Return, tall stalk to moon and water and sun again. My body once passed to trick intruders. A bridge wasn't authorized, but I worried. Cut off from central. I'd stay stuck without a shadow. We draw bits and reassemble. 3. Thin line holding together. Later pleasure. You use to delay a preservation, a storing. Soft lines, we aren't of one mind. Sweat first, then joy, if at all. 4. One says we need a clear demarcation. May you and your questions bloom. Another says stretch and we can make room and receive what you sprout in abundance. 5. To become bird. Trust your own radiant steady. Turn your back on what's gold, your own cherished sky. Turning back will reveal cartilage and soft tissue left between fat fractures. Turning back, ask for what you need again, your own flown spore. Root water and thirst. You said, carry me to that memory place. That place I fell. Then I cleansed in water, cleansed again. Nothing seems sway and sway to help. So in Seattle, I work as part of the Massage Parlor Outreach Project, and I have some work that is in conversation with that work. And this poem is for Dayo Fong, who we lost in the Atlanta shootings. Another spell for safe passage. No more underestimated ocean creature. No more headlong sea crossing. Your own boat and captain. Your own staunch feet. Your voice so tough and shining, your brothers thought you should have been born a man. Better start working, they said, and find a husband. You chose assembly line and garment factory and no husband. Nail salon and beauty salon and no husband. Massage spa and no husband. Your own money ferreted across water to mother. Your own voice lifted for ancestor protections. Your own bones to be sung. I also wrote a poem for this year's vigil after the 1-year anniversary of the shootings. And I used 2 of the workers' statements, and Aimee and Coco, they wrote about their experience, and I wanted to be in conversation with them because I knew that they were going to be at the vigil. And I wanted to write something that wasn't focused on damage, because I think so much of that conversation has been. So this poem is called Spell for the Living. For you who raised your hands each morning to clear each ache, we remember you too now, who offered candy, sticky light to visitors, paper dissolving in our mouths as we asked how you unwrapped our new year. For you who stay on your feet waiting for bell, signaling newcomer through threshold, we remember you too now, bringing our small gifts and gossips, hoping to catch small morning breaths. For you who wanted more honey from clear sky, did you dream of fish to be pinned by sky's limit? We remember you too now, lit by your own lantern, floating in your own sea of dreams. I'm dreaming of 2 smoky ducks learning to swim with oranges. I wonder who and what you carried over water, who into mornings remained overflowing with plenty of blossom to share. Thank you so much. I really appreciate being here, and I will pass the mic.
Thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us. I really appreciate you and your time.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to move right into the MFA alums. So the first person that we're bringing to the stage hails all the way from North Carolina. This is a designer, a writer. Aimee Wright, Aimee Wright Clow is the co-curator of poetry and music at the Octopod in Durham, North Carolina. I would like to bring to you Aimee Wright Clow. Hi, Aimee. Welcome into our virtual space. If you can just give us just a little bit more on exactly who you are.
Sure. I am Aimee Wright Clow. I had the pleasure of growing up in New Jersey. I grew up in Somerville, New Jersey, and I was part of the first cohort at Bothell. I studied with Jeanne and Amaranth, and I had the distinct pleasure of being Talena's roommate for part of our second year and living with her and her family. So I'm really grateful to be invited here today to join both New Jersey poets and Bothell poets.
Awesome. Awesome. Wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and let you take the virtual stage.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Wordseed Inc., and thank you, UW Bothell, for inviting me here tonight. It's a pleasure to read with everyone. I'm going to read a few poems from a book-length sort of narrative poetry book set in Albany, New York. So 1. A lot of snow and then ice. Then snow and ice melted, and in the thaw, a pothole on Lark blossomed into a sinkhole. Ton crawled down its graveled veins. The asphalt veins were nutritious, bringing minerals in to fill the pavement's cavern. Ton ate by this for weeks, sucking rocks. After weeks, a gray nimbus collected and hovered over Swan for a day, then floated up Lark to drop its rain. The gravel filled, a mouth for the storm, no longer a sink but a watering hole. Ton floated to the pavement's surface, stepped out, and shook his tentacles dry. There were cicadas. There were a lot of cicadas. They lined their boots with purple fur, wore black and netted shirts. They always left and returned. They had just returned. The neighbors all groaned or warmed to their song. Their song was simple strums, back and forth across their arms. Ton walked into the cicada's nest and heard music. He tried to harmonize, but he had always been tone deaf. The cicadas let him sit and hum anyways. The cicadas had a nice wooden house where they camped on green benches. Ton pitched a tent in the kitchen. The tent was moldy and blue from heavy rains he had slept through. In winter, the cicadas warmed south and other bugs came into the nest. Katydids, sirens, so the landlord exterminated. Later, we watched Ton stumble out, disoriented but unaware of the gas. We all agreed his tent was exoskeleton. That's how he survived while the katydids shriveled up. 3. Ruby cooked Ton, and the pot boiled over. Ton grated Ruby, and the floor got so covered he couldn't lift his feet. In the platonic center of the pot, they melted cheese into broth. Days were mostly food then, where it came from, what it did to them. At the end of the nest, there was a garden. Ton grew and found himself in vines. Some days the nest was a cocoon, kept them warm. Some days inside repeated itself. They slumped into corners, reciting lines from staggered memories. If the room need not be a room, Ton said, maybe sky. Or if we could both fly, or walk out. It's all the memories of people collected, now stare at the walls. If the floor need not be a floor, Ruby said, if we sifted through, if nutrient rich, we wouldn't need money and then. Did I tell you I spent a month in a hole, Ton asked? I didn't need money then. Did I tell you my family was a hole, Ruby asked? So I look full grown. But you're not? I am not. Don't worry about that. Look, the floor is not a floor. I can push my foot through. The foot-pressed floor became both a mantle and a fireplace Ruby lit to warm them up for free. And look, the walls are not walls, Ruby said, when a wayward fire brought one down. But we can live without. A family of squirrels brought nuts to the door. Ruby dropped them in a pot. 5. Ton took Ruby's bottom lip, tugged up over eyes without lids, pulled down again. Blink. Ruby took Ton's ball of an eye out of socket, back to socket, finger in the crevice, spun it side to side. Notice, blinking, spinning, gaze. They lay on a blanket in Lincoln Park where the snow had just melted, unburying a bottle trove. Is this a boat? The world is only water, the sky poured out. 6. Ruby flapped away one night, just a rooftop swoop and a gust Ton woke to. Wingless, he crawled the walls of his nest into the sky where he learned he could walk. Lipstick smeared the pavement below. With eyes trained on his feet, Ton circled the empire. Then circles expanding, he detoured to the Gilded Lands. Ruby said Ton's name when she first learned it, then she didn't. Above, Ton said Ruby's name in gusts, gasping a syllable storm to search. Ruby, 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 bee, where'd you fly, my only friend? In the Gilded Lands, Ton found an empty nest. The empty nest was full of blue things. He tapped to see if any blue contained any living. He closed his eyes slowly, pressed his cheeks to blue eggs, but they were only gems. He rolled gems through his prickled hands, then dropped them to the city below. A heavy rain to split-level mansions. It's all perspective, Tan sang. You flew. I take this wealth and throw. Empty the nest so it's a hole I can slip into rest. He slept for hours. When Tan woke, there were feathers and talons on his chest, but he could not see. Pitch dark night and a new moon. He ran his hands over the body above him. His face wouldn't light. Panicked, he ran his hands over his face and found bowls in place of eyes. He found a nose where there should be a nose and ears where there should be ears, but stitches on his mouth. The bird was trying to feed him by pecking the stitches out. When they succeeded, Tan said, Ruby. The bird responded with beats of heart and drum rolls over hollow bones. Out of the nest, they pushed him. Fly, they said, but he walked again on air, and then he could see. Thank you. Pass the mic back.
Excellent. Hi. We're just having a couple of technical difficulties right now. Is there a possibility that you have another piece that you would like to read?
Oh, yeah, I can keep going for sure.
We can go ahead and let you do another piece real quick while we get our technical self together on this end.
Sure. Thank you. Okay. So I will read one more from the series. So the bug Tan continues flying to search for his friend Ruby. Above the gilded lands, Tan saw a garden of bees, so he descended. The bees were circling something. The bees were circling a body torn to shreds. There were infinite needles protruding the body. We wanted to help, the bees said. We didn't have hands. Tan dragged the body away from the plants, and the bees began to garden again. By a creek in a clearing, Tan sorted the body clean. He never recognized faces out of context, like he never understood sounds. Who had the body been? Did he know? There were eyes and a mouth, but no nose and no ears. It is clear here, Tan said. Rest. He buried the body deep and sat to mourn, sang a tone-deaf hymn. Behind him, the bees sang too. After, they said, join us. They said, come, drink a little, eat a little, stay a little, sit. And I'll add one more for good measure, just to give extra time, and say thank you again to everyone for having me here today. An opal pigeon, brittle leaves crack, iridescent beak, stray branches, wind blusters, a nest around, iridescent feet, highway underpass, potholes and shutters, cicadas trace shadows. The shadows all fall in a ring around branches. Cicadas trace shapes that do not touch the pigeon pavement, percolates where it once was hold. Branches wind, a barrier turns orange, whistle of stone, high-pitched and trills through the opal neck, shaking ground, mainline break. The birds all walk to water. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aimee. First of all, thank you for bearing with us. And also thank you for sharing your work with us. We appreciate you for coming to be a part of the Paterson Poetry Festival virtually.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So we're going to go on to our next artist that we have to bring to the virtual stage. I'm really excited about what's happening here. Are you excited about what's happening here? If you want to keep up with the rest of the Paterson Poetry Festival going forward and the rest of what Wordseed Inc. is doing all year round, please make sure you go and you check us out on Instagram. Not only check us out, but make sure you follow on Instagram at Wordseed Inc. And if you are, again, watching this broadcast, that means you've already found our YouTube. Ta-da! So go ahead and hit the bell. We want to make sure you don't miss any notifications and become a subscriber today. So the next artist that I have to bring to the stage hails all the way from Washington. So, Ashley Skartvedt is the co-executive director of programs for Pongo Poetry Project, whose mission is to engage youth in writing poetry and to inspire healing and growth. That, to me, is amazing and a wonderful cause. With no further ado, I'd like to bring to the virtual stage Ashley Skartvedt. Hey, Ashley.
Hi, thank you for having me.
No problem, no problem. I've given everyone a couple minutes just to go a little more in depth with exactly who they are and what they do. If you wouldn't mind blessing us with just a little bit more of some of the amazing work that you do.
Yeah, I just recently started working at the Pongo Poetry Project as the co-executive director of programs. And so we are going to be launching our 3 project sites here in October. 2 of them are at a juvenile detention center, and another one is at a psychiatric hospital for youth. So we write poetry with them to help them recover from traumatic experiences they've had.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to go ahead and let you take over the virtual stage now.
Thank you so much. I want to thank Talina and everyone who's helped organize the Paterson Poetry Festival, and thank you to the MFA faculty at the University of Washington, Bothell for inviting me to read. An encapsulation. Slowing down time long enough to observe the natural light's reflection off, tiny beads of condensation on, a golden can of mango chainsaw liquid death. Fish's repeating line, time to put your wingsuit on, fades into the background as seagulls levitate with the wind, hovering in the sky, wings spread motionless above the rolling waves of the sequin sea. The next couple pieces I'm going to read were written after I had been meditating. So there's a series of these poems that I've done. This one's called Meditation 38, and this was after reading Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes, PhD. How many days has it been since you've sat in silence? Start by softening your gaze. It's okay if you flutter your eyes. How far does the tear travel before you wipe it away? Can you allow it the freedom to wander past the ledge of your chin? Mollify your jaw. Can you unclench the spite between your teeth? Float your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. What does your spiritual food taste like? Inhale through your nose. Can you hear your breath paddling the canals of your ears? Slowly release your exhale from your oviform mouth. At what point does your breath become air? Suppress the urge to bite down the quiver of your bottom lip. Swallow the grapefruit-sized bulge in your throat. Let the juice slide through the veins of your arms to the to the tips of your fingers. Unleash your fists of protection. Caress the fibers of your clothing. What does the texture feel like? Searchlight your abdomen for the crosses on your timeline, points where you have died along your journey. It's okay if there are many. Ask yourself, am I full? Am I fulfilled? Who do you do this for? Name them silently in your head. Name them aloud if you like. Name them every day. This is meditation 44 and 48. The disembodied face of Sun Tzu floats into view, possessing a stern omniscience. What can be learned from the art of war? He whispers, slip on the skin that suits you. A dark cloak drapes over clavicular hanger and vanishes altogether around the patellas. Left with the question, can anyone spare a rib for the hound down the street who begs for a hand that nourishes instead of punishes. This will be my last piece. It's called Are Not Mine. They're hers, my hands. These are not from me, back to me, emanating the joy, contentedly, smiling, sitting, she coyly, or less, or so, 80 years old, reflected back, one me, three angels, seven chakras, oblongata medulla, stimulate the center, I, spiritual, to the third, om, chant, up the nadis to undulate, awakened, awaiting to be. At the base she coiled, kundalini, Roy G. Biv, energy wheels, Pingala and Shushumna, channel of Ida, color the stream, collar, absorb at shirt, chin down, tear stream. Are not my hands these hands. These hands are not my hands. Tear stream down chin, absorb at shirt collar, color the stream, channel of Ida, Pingala, and Shushumna, Roy G. Biv, energy wheels, kundalini, she coiled at the base, awaiting to be awakened, to undulate up the nadis, chant um, to the third eye, spiritual center, stimulate, medulla oblongata, seven chakras, three angels, one me, reflected back, 80 years old or so or less, she coyly, smiling, sitting contentedly, the joy emanating back to me, from me. These are not my hands, they're hers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed listening to you give us your pieces. I appreciate you coming out virtually, of course, and being a part of this year's Paterson Poetry Festival. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So the next artist that I'm going to bring to the virtual stage also hails from Washington. Washington is doing their thing. So this next artist, her name is Stephanie Segura. She is a poet. She is a former Hugo House Fellow and a Lit Fuse Scholar. I would like to bring to the stage Stephanie Segura. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, thank you.
Okay, so would you like to tell us a little bit about some of the work that you do?
Yeah, thank you for having me. So today I'll be reading from part of my manuscript that I actually started at the MFA, and my manuscript is based off of me becoming very curious about my genealogy and my parents' migration to the United States and their experiences, as well as me learning about the history of my family. A lot of it includes some visual text, visual photos that I've collected from my family archive, but I'll just be reading the text today.
Okay, awesome, Stephanie. We can't wait to hear from you. I'm going to go ahead and let you take over the virtual stage.
Thank you. One more thing to mention about the poems I'll be reading today. So for this manuscript, I curated a list of questions, and so some of those questions repeat themselves as I use them as titles. So if you hear it repeated, it's intentional. So this first one, titled, "Who Did You Leave Behind?" Today, I thought of long-distance journeys between life and death. I rested my mind on the thought of uncertainty. Could there be a series of things you might need? Here are the materials you might need for a death to take place on the shore of a tropical ocean. A white truck, a body, open to supernatural encounters, a knife, an unnamed, unfound person to help with the passing, a mourning of ambiguity for all you will leave behind. I kept thinking about what the afterlife might look like. I imagined the afterlife as rain creating language and puddles upon impact. Your new occupation, reaching your descendants in dreams so that they might not repeat your suffering. You replay the travel diary from where you were to where you are now. A love like no other, an open chest wound, a mixed affair, the voices of your mother's burden burning away the bone at your skull, an act of violence against yourself, one last dying wish. Who did you leave behind? Why distract ourselves when the world is so bad? We learn to ache for warmth, wrap our flesh in cloves and cinnamon, hold our tongues to chimney fire, hands outstretched, joined at the touch. We catch fallen embers like incense ash, laced in normalcy. Last night, we screamed at La Rosa de Guadalupe, mouths open, nostrils curved in cackles, like the winter didn't just swallow the sun, like the day didn't diminish our self-worth. My sleepy eyes resting at the fabric of your chest. The teenagers in this episode remind me of helicopter wings. The teenagers in this episode remind me of crust swept into edges of eyelids, pupils waning, flashing lights, a cactus-filled backyard, an unsolicited raid in a food desert of a city. Amidst the cold, wet night, we lift our chins to the sun every chance we get. We hold onto a cross-country blessing, watch flames eat at our skin, and pray we won't deteriorate. How many times have you left? Mommy's list. 1. Portrait of a silhouette on a curb. 2. Crossed fire borders, called it home. 3. Frozen heartbeat in cupped hands. 4. Big loss, sold everything. 5. Loose dollar bills, home invasion, brother catches my fall. 6. New rain is a tiny rejection, never call it home. 7. Maybe a new beginning, maybe vows and crescent lakes. 8. Volcanic rocks begin to glow in the base of my abdomen. 9. Moist air can be felt by the texture of my skin. I feel nothing. 10. Dry heat is better. 11. Letters stopped coming. I swore I saw the legs of the clock turn backward. 12. Stored tears in a recycled shoebox, mailed them out of the country. And I have one more. Who did you leave behind? 1. Say waste, say damage. Flourish in a house of the unsaid. Under a backyard moon, the grounds will open up origins sealed in tight glass jars, only to be opened on rare occasions like when your father drinks tequila and finally tells you how proud of you he is. Keep looking through paper walls, trace what you find on contact paper, wear it over your head like a veil, hold a conch shell to your ear, listen to the faint sounds of your mother howl, regret never asking. 2. Heaven sent Abuelita, a siren wailing the entirety of her husband's death into the ears of my mother. The wall in this house breathes out day heat past sunset. I place my toes on the light opening up from the door of your room, an outstretched triangle, a glimpse of what I wish I knew. I'm 7 years old and your voice sounds like a submission. Mommy cradles herself, bears the impact of siren wails, imagines her knees scraped at the bottom of the stairwell, holds on to the whirl of her adolescence, to being fathered by death, by eternal mania. 3. I wanted to feel something, so I snuck my bones into the sliver of a young man's backpack. He carried them in a jumble, brushed them against bus stop poles, soccer fields, bicycle bars, and brick walls. At night, he took them out on an empty field and put me back together. He held me close, felt each strand of grass tickle its way against my hips, asked for desire, listened to us reach for air in desperation. I felt like the sun after it set, ingrained in soil and pavement. My mind fell to Abuelita, wondered when she fell apart, or if she ever was together. Does she remember the stories of her being tucked away in the black hole behind her ear? 4. Disappear into gloom, take a walk in the middle of the night, plunge yourself into a street you have only lived on for 2 months, feel the weight of new, outlive the old. Long for satin-stained fingertips, beets and citric acid, a midday summer wrap. Yourself, in aggressions, become bound to the ground. Let it swallow you whole. 5. Did you have heart palpitations? A whistle in the inhale of your breath while you danced around destruction? A war around your neck? Your 6 children held prayers and palms for your return to a breeze of tree aromas, to everyday kitchen window shadows. They inherited your mania and left the sun to wait. Thank you.
Oh, indeed. Thank you. Thank you so much for adding value, adding so much depth, and again, telling stories. That's what this truly is all about. Telling stories through our words, creating pictures with our words. So we spent some time out on the West Coast. Now we're going to switch gears and bring it back over to the East. So we have a list of poets here who are on this side over here by Jersey. We have 1 from New York and 2 from New Jersey. The first poet, the first artist, right? She's not just a poet. She holds many different hats. She is a poet, a performer, an activist, and an educator. Maria's work focuses on Latino theater against racial discrimination and women's rights. I bring to you none other than Maria Aponte. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. We're so glad to have you here at the Paterson Poetry Festival's virtual event. Would you like to talk a little bit about, there's a large amount of work here. You do a lot. You wear many hats. Would you like to briefly catch us up just on a little bit more about yourself?
Well, I am from New York, but I am from the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
And I started out at the New Eurekan Poets Cafe back in the 70s. And my mentors were Sandra Maria Esteves, Luis Reyes Rivera. And as life goes on, you get involved in a lot of different projects and things. And I want to say thank you for inviting me to be a part of this evening. I'm just enjoying listening to everyone. I logged in around 5 something. So my work is about cultural identity and also women's issues. What are we as women of color experiencing? And that's pretty much, I'll stop right there.
Okay. I'm going to allow you to go ahead and continue right there. I'm handing over the virtual stage to you.
Thank you so much. So my first piece is called Intellectual Property. And I was inspired to write this piece by the author Isabel Wilkinson's book, Caste, The Origins of Our Discontents. Excuse me. I was born stamped intellectual property that predicted my future, cast in a system that was in deep denial of the caste system. The mothers birthed us feeling the fear of a long legacy designed to fail. Children born with angelic innocence that would fester like a dream deferred. Children taught the rhythmic chant of "We shall overcome" to quickly learn they would not. Obstacles placed silently in their paths to interrupt growth. Perseverance would become the mantra of the day. Perseverance, the one anchor of hope. Education waved in front of the children like a flag of freedom. But was it freedom? Underneath it all, intellectual property cast its light. Lives controlled, managed as deemed fit. To fit in a designated box, educational system stalled. Left back, reading level too low. Language barrier, only English, no accent accepted. Drug addictions, send them to rehab, lost years. Careers not ready, not good enough, go back to school. Meanwhile, passed over for promotion. Macro aggressions, easy as breathing. Intellectual property that has to be redefined. The old mothers gathered with the new mothers. They called to the ancestors asking for help. The old rituals of fire, water, air, dirt cast to break the caste. The shaman, medicine man, madrinas, babalaos, healers, guerreros, guerreras gathered, prayed to the ancestors not of European descendants. They prayed to Gia, Mother Earth, to help their children, their legacy. The answers came with tears, blood, sacrifice, fear, change, unknown, death. But the answers came. Intellectual property rewritten, souls bared, warriors coming up the hill in advanced formation. Battles were not new to them, claiming their own will spirit to rewrite, retell the truth in history. Fakery blasted out like a furnace ready to explode. The fear faced, the anger faced, the blood faced, knowing more would be shed. The price? True freedom to claim their own lives. Education becoming the tool of war. Social media, the armor. Art, the expression of truth. A never-ending wave of ocean waves blessed by Yemaya. The guerreros, guerreras arrive to reclaim their histories. Change is coming. Fear will be met. The power of earth, water, dirt, and fire. And this is really something that happened to me going to work on a train. This is called a question. A man asked me the other day, "What are you?" I said, "I beg your pardon." Seeing that he placed himself in an awkward position, he rephrased the question, "What's your nationality?" "I'm Puerto Rican." He looked surprised. "But you don't look Puerto Rican, you look black." Boricua, Borinqueña, Puerto Rican. Palm trees, soft blue skies, water blue and deep. I am a mixture of spices grown in warm, rich climates. I am the smell of tropical flowers that grow in lush green hills. I am Indian, I am African, I am Spaniard, Borinquen, a green island of sweet vegetation, sugarcane, rainforests, mountain roads, unwinding into essence, mambo, boleros y décimas. I am a good plate of mofongo pernil and a good drink of coquito libre. I am pottery, poetry, and the art of my people, wrapped inside a capsule, transported through time and space. I can go backwards to our Taino roots, to the paradise before Columbus, or I can go forward to a century of cement, brick, glass, confused society, work that pays less than your rent, subway trains that don't work, rush hours, holidays where everything is buy American style. Yes, I am all these things. By the way, what are you? And my last piece is from my book, The Gift of Loss. And this is called Tired. I am tired of explaining myself, who I am, where I'm from, were my parents, explaining my culture, my language, Spanish, Spanglish, English, any ish way of talking. Tired of hearing the same old questions that justify, criticize, verify, rectify, clarify, marginalize so I can fit into some form of acceptance. Tired of not being the perfect Latina you see on film, telenovelas, and God forbid that a brown Black woman, no hair, bare head, should be a Latina, or your persuasion, because although you won't want to admit it out loud, it's not permissible. Tired of being intellectualized, written with such academic clarity that the essence of my soul being is reduced to an academic footnote. Tired of being told to branch out, change my language for others, when so few of us have a unique voice that carries over the centuries of subjugation, segregation, separation. I am tired. So therefore, for every question I am asked, I will look you in the eye, speak my truth, listen to my soul, because I have learned to be my own teacher, mother, father, sister, brother, elder, grounded, rooted to earth, water, light, because that's the way I discovered who and how I am. Thank you. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. We had a bit of technical difficulties again. I'm so sorry about that. But what I was trying to say was I definitely enjoyed your work, especially the poem, The Question. That was one of my favorites that you just did. Thank you so much for dropping off that to us. We appreciate you for coming to the Paterson Poetry Festival virtually.
Thank you. Thank you. Totally enjoying it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, so this next artist is somebody special to my heart. This person is a professional artist entrepreneur. Okay, that speaks for itself. A professional artist entrepreneur. As a published performing poet, she has recorded poems to music in both English and Spanish. She is deeply immersed in the arts across communities throughout New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, and is developing a body of work that focuses on rich linguistic poetry. Now, Susan Justiniano is the poet laureate of Jersey City. We like to call her RescuePoetix. Hey.
Hey, Tori, thank you for that beautiful introduction.
No problem, no problem. You wear a very big hat, a very, very big hat as the poet laureate of Jersey City. Would you mind telling us a little bit more about the work that you do?
Thank you for that question. The work as poet laureate is to bring attention in Jersey City to the rich diversity, the linguistic diversity in Jersey City. We try to include all types of languages in the events because there's just so much just by language. The way we say things, the words we use. Just being here today is just has even, it gives me goosebumps how important all those things are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so excited to hear what you have to bring to this virtual stage. I'm going to go ahead and slide out and let you take over.
Thank you. Hola, mi gente. It is a pleasure on day 3 for the virtual stage of the 5th annual Paterson Poetry produced by Wordseed Inc. And kudos to the amazing team that has put this together and participated. I could say that my veins are that my words flow from a place deep, but that would be a lot. The blood that runs amok within mine is filled with such passion that ink is to what my platelets upon dine. My words, while empowering, deep as you allow them, they touch you how you choose them. They move. There is no vanity. I am but the messenger. The longer I spend letting them tumble on end doesn't make them any more profound. The ones that form in mindfulness of my perception, flesh to make their presence known, with the expectation that the to them are my own. They let loose in the air, city of gunfire, with the ease of meditation, known, touching higher than where they started from. And I could say are the instruments of creation, works already been made by others, but it's mine. Translating what my eyes see within, forming what my brain, giving life to that which my spirit, if it could, would burn to make sure that the very life of it sticks. There are no guarantees. I am but the messenger. Furiously, the thoughts move of a box, struggling to find the balance that leaves them not at odds with truth, humility, that they too have been heard by others, ancestors, to share their words through ink and voice and air with ease and fire where there is none to match one. I but the messengers. Thank you. As artists, as creatives, we are definitely filled, and everything starts with a dream. In my mind, a dream is a blueprint to what could, and so this next piece is dedicated to all the dreamers and all the creatives. Call me a dreamer. Let them see what my dreams bring. I'm not stamped by society's approval, a rule-breaking, earth-shaking, far-reaching array built and rebuilt and rebuilt and rebuilt until my last. I'll be that dreamer. Split between realities of nighttime light structure, conjuring, manifesting, creating in my and those dreams with the life of accomplishment at their foundation cells into tangible representations, bridges, design. From them comes the strength to maintain what needs to see fruition of plans and work, ready to be completed. Time. It doesn't end. It can't. To the reality, each plan laid in the threads of memories, of things to come, each waking moment, and opportunities in the form of visions of a mind at peace. Bible takes root to turn what I believe, what we into the physical. People call us dreamers. What our dreams bring. There are those who would speak realistic anomalies. Speaking of them doesn't give them the same life that doing is from them. Dreams need life. To one day, to the hands of those who will mold them into seeds, plant them in the eyes of dreamers instead of think. Those to whom the rules of impossible apply. Thank you. Next piece that I'm going to share with everyone is about identity, defining yourself and standing in your strength. Beneath this shell of bone lies not a person. Who this is doesn't start from the outside already, smallest thread, pulled endless, breaks seams above bone, arguments, struggles fall away, piled on the floor, forgot beliefs and fears fall next. The great debate, silence, experience, knowledge, know-how. Bring the pile knee high, protecting. Once that thread is pulled, what's left is me in truth. Flesh that beats knows but one survival. All the pieces that make it work real and lead from that rhythm. Give the thumping a reason for pull every bit from what you think makes me who I am into an exotic and a humanity composed of flesh and bone. This raw and strong is no gimmick. Pretty words. This who I am, while protected bone beats strong, exposed from the instant. Thank you. So I'm going to leave you with one, and it is again quite an honor to be here, and so many talented voices and such richness in the poetry. One is called Chasing Dreams. I stand chasing those dreams, the unknown, a great leap, the surge of power beyond awakening light, wanting to leap. The other side of comfortable exist well there, liberated by the freedoms they seek, waiting to take, wanting to leap. I can hear it from inside. I can hear it from inside. Useless, my soul recognizes the unknown, all things fluent. Restless with wanderlust, chasing those dreams, break open of past from my heels, ready to take flight, deep, hurl myself toward the measured openness. Chase where they may lead, lift me from where I am, make me ache for a place to call home. Left on the ledge are once served, while I am now chasing dreams. Nowhere to carry doubt, climbing beyond the rungs of probability, next one after the next, one after the next, never looking back. No ridge of protection in the new. There is but me, as I finite in my humanity, infinite in my dream, to chase the next dream. Thank you. And I'm going to hand it back to Tori, our wonderful host. Tori, you're muted.
You can hear me now. Okay, awesome. Technical difficulties, they happen sometime, but we keep the show going. I just wanted to thank you for being a part of the virtual component of the Paterson Poetry Festival Year 5. I look forward to next year with you. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up our next and our final artist. Can you believe we're at our final artist already? So this is a spoken word artist. Dujuana Sharese is a spoken word artist. She is a master of ceremonies, a podcaster, a voiceover actor, a workshop facilitator, and a performer. Are you ready for Dujuana Sharese? Give us a moment. Give us 1 second. In the meantime, while we wait for Dujuana Sharese to come on stage, I just want to remind you one more time, if you are not already subscribed, because you're watching this, so obviously you found our YouTube page, which is great. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe and also hit the bell, because you don't want to miss out on any notifications with anything that Word Seed has coming up in the near future. Also, check the Instagram out and make sure you follow at Word Seed Inc. So, give us a few moments. Do we have Dujuana?
I'm trying.
Okay.
I can't get camera to work. Hey, Tori, you keep talking there. It's gonna come. The camera won't come on, and I'm not sure if you could, I don't mind not being seen. It's okay. I'll just do it. I'll do it with a black screen.
Okay.
Oh.
It's okay. It is more than okay.
It was working earlier, and then it just totally stopped. So everybody can see a picture of me.
Okay.
I'm the voice anyway. Tori, you've been doing such a lovely job tonight, and the hair and face are beat, sis.
Thank you so much.
I have no idea what's happening here. I wish I could get it going. All right. Will it not?
It is all good. And while you figure it out on your end, we're just going to use this opportunity. While we have your voice, we're going to use this opportunity for you just to talk a little bit more about who exactly you are.
Oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna leave and come back. Is that okay? Can I?
That's fine.
Let me just leave.
No. Stay.
Stay. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. So who I am is you said a lot, but I find myself as a person who is learning every day, going through healing and going through life situations which are poetic to me. And these poetic situations in life allow me to basically tell everybody what my journey is. And if I can help somebody along the way, then that is what I do. Yes, ma'am.
That's beautiful. I love that.
All right.
Okay. So now we're going to let you go ahead and take the virtual stage. We found a different way to do this just for you.
Okay. That's cool.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. Hey, look at my picture up there. My name is Dujuana Sharese. Hello, everybody. Hello. You know, sometimes things happen for a reason, and there's a reason why you can't see me right now. I'm not sure what it is, but there is a reason. I have been touched. I have been helped I have been loved. I have been nursed. I have been cared for. And I have been doted over. I have been sent an angel. God sent me an angel to help soothe the pains that I was going through. And God sent me an angel to help keep my mind positive, right, true, and free. And God sent me an angel as I was in the beast, deep in his belly. God sent me an angel and extended their hand to help me pull out. God sent me an angel. Well, those nights that I screamed, and those nights that I cried, and those nights that just seemed endless, God sent me an angel to help me get through my breakthrough, to help me pass through my rites of passage. God sent me an angel, and that angel lives in the sun, kissed and blessed by the moon, with wings spanned across the country. And that angel is named Susan Justiniano, otherwise known as RescuePoetix. Thank you for helping me when I was in my time of need. You came to me selflessly. You came to me, and I didn't expect to see you. Thank you for being unconditional with me. That was thank you. That was off the top because I recently had surgery, and I had no one until I had someone. The people you expect are not there. The people you don't expect are there, because God always provides. God always provides. And so this next piece that I'm about to give you is a piece that through my moments of life trying to figure out who I am and what I do and how I do them, and why am I always subjected to different, I guess I'm subjected to prejudice, and not just me, but us as a people. So this piece is called Affirmation. Entangle your tips into my new growth. Let loose of all the roots of the images you said I could have. Part my massive mane, dig the comb into my scalp, and scratch away the pain that was caused by the media's intimidation. See, I didn't fit into their GQL Esquire manifestation. I need you to take your finger index. New now, Afro sheen, ultra sheen, and oil my scalp and quench my pores. See, plaiting, twisting, and locking was the purest form of ourselves. We've been lost on model shelves. Revlon didn't build the new Babylon, baby. Blood, sweat, and locks did. And I'm going to overthrow the stereotypical cornrow of a brother misunderstood, of a sister misunderstood. And we're going to take our locks and we're going to link them into a moja and throw on 2 continents over where we can blessed touch the blessed red soil where Niles await our rebirth. And we're going to chant and sing and bang on drums, because everybody needs to know where our roots come from. I need you to celebrate your naps, your beads, your buckshots, your froze, parted straight, zigzag, crisscross those cornrows. Color them burgundy, blue, magenta, just to see your spiritual antennas. And my locks, baby, are not sinister. They are an affirmation of me. And we have donated each and every blood-soaked strand that we gave to this land. And my locks are not sinister. They are affirmation of me in this country in which I was not conceived. So I will continue to walk on these grounds with my pride on my chest and the culture as my crown. Plait it, twist it, lock it. Thank you. And this next piece is is when I had an awakening. I've been beat, gagged, sold. I've been riddled of my fortunes that have been told by my creator, the one who instilled life in me, the originator of the blood to flow, the giver of air to breathe, the one who implanted principles, the one who told me to get on my knees and embrace my spirituality. But she didn't tell me I was sacrificed to live in this corporate orthodox society. And she didn't tell me that the steps that I paved would pave the way for our future seeds. She didn't tell me I was chosen to live in salty skin due to past tears that my people shed. She didn't tell me that my peace was my body. Moses scribed his book in Deuteronomy. And before Nat Turner and Harriet Tubman was fighting for my rights, Daniel was paving a way for the Israelites, just to capture and oppress the Canaanites. Man, Simon was forced to bear the cross for Christ. The Queen of Sheba made all her men eunuchs just in order to keep her queendom from male prospects. Man, this shackle has existed before the earth's conception was met. And the noose, it still exists, but it's transparent. Baby, it slipped over the neck of freedom and tightened over each and every decade that we thought we were getting closer to liberty. So she crawled into the depths of addictions, laid on jails and institutions, died in entrepreneurial organizations, and there was no resurrection from freedom, you see. So now I have to pick and pluck at keyboards, polish proposals, dot the I, the B, the cross of the T, and baby, she didn't tell me how foolish this sister could be. She didn't tell me how foolish the sister could be. But she told me as long as you have love to lose, bills to pay, and money to be spent, you will always be bound, gagged, chained. You will always be bound, gagged, chained as this 21st century indentured servant. She forgot to tell me. My name is Dujuana Sharese, and that's my set. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for that. Thank you for dropping off those beautiful words, those powerful poems, and telling your story. And thank you for being a team player too. But where there's a will, there's a way. And no matter what happens, we as artists, we know we got to keep on pushing.
That's right.
This year's Paterson Poetry Festival as a whole has definitely taught us how to pivot. It has shown us, rather, that we already know how to pivot and how to maneuver no matter what comes our way. Pandemic, we made it. Hurricane Ian, we made it. Technical difficulties, we made it, and we're still making it. So I just want to thank everyone who was a part of the Paterson Poetry Festival, the in-person, the virtual, the planning, everything that went into this whole weekend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You, the viewer, you're not just a viewer, you're a participant. So let me just stop there. You're a participant and your family. So join the family. Make sure you follow us right here on Instagram. That is Wordseed Inc. on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the bell so that you don't miss any notifications. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you to all of our sponsors, to all of our team builders, to all of the artists who've come out, all the vendors, everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There are no words left to say, but thank you. And I hope to see you guys next year at the in-person Paterson Poetry Festival 2023. Again, thanks and have a great night. Bye.
This is a Wordseed presentation. The views expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of Wordseed Inc.